How do you say your name?
Kayleigh.
Like your last name?
My last name is Licklider, but
Leclerc.
Renee is my middle name.
Okay.
And you said you didn't want me to take my turn now?
Oh, you can. Yeah, if you want to. The first turn, I'm not too worried about it. So, hey guys, it is Brendan Borman, and we are live. We are back for their 270 video. Sorry, you may have to turn down your screen on the volume on the stream.
Okay.
Sorry about that. But no, I'm excited. I know Kayleigh is excited. So this is a unique stream. This is a kind of a guinea pig trial run. You can. Yeah, the first term, I'm not too worried about it. So let's see. I can still hear your screen. Let's see. Is that mine? Shouldn't be. Sorry, you may have to turn down.
I had myself muted.
Leave yourself muted. Okay. Let me just. Okay, I have myself muted too. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so this, yeah, I've got the stream muted. If you want to leave yourself unmuted, but just have like your game, not the sound off, but like if you have the stream open, if you have that turned all the way down, then we should be good. But
Okay.
for anybody who's tuning in, this is a unique experience here. Kayleigh is actually on my team for the 270 The Choice. If you've seen The Voice, it is a competition on TV where they have singers and they choose teams. And I think that not Miranda Lambert, that was her ex-husband, Blake Shelton. He is one of the coaches. And so I have the opportunity to coach some players that are learning to be new players, or in Kayleigh's instance, taking that next step. So Kayleigh has taken on some players, beaten the likes of Aziz, Abanoff, Rebecca Gill in the past. We're going to see if we can train her to beat players like Eric York and Jason Casey and those household 270 names. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be playing as JFK, and I promise we won't take the whole time every turn, but just wanted to set the stage a little bit. And I'm playing against FDR, and that is who Kayleigh is representing. I'm going to be making my moves in the later turns first, and then I'm going to be coaching Kayleigh to see what I would do in her shoes. So hope you guys enjoy the stream. I'll probably be ignoring the comments. So definitely sorry for that, but the focus here is to make Kayleigh the best 270 player that she can possibly be. So I've submitted my turn. I know Kayleigh submitted her turn a little while ago. And let's see what happens here. Did you get a news feed, Kayleigh?
What's that?
Did your turn one, did it show what happened on your end?
Yep.
Okay.
It just did.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to get out of the game and get back in because it still says turn number one. Okay, so it looks like I went one pip into North Carolina, and you went a pip into Pennsylvania and Ohio. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my turn, and then I will jump into what I would do in your shoes. Okay, I've submitted my turn. So you went into Pennsylvania and Ohio. Is that an opening that you usually do?
I have been lately, only because those are like bigger states for manufacturing bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And swing state, so yeah. It like makes room for securing swing or manufacturing or both.
Yes,
depending on what.
Yeah, and that's a great point. One thing that I would recommend, clashing in the beginning of a game is not detrimental to you. And so obviously if you have like a read on your opponent, you could go something that's very, simple, like a standard opening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate that opening whatsoever. Definitely is not bad. Don't get me wrong. But there's a very good chance someone could open up in full swing states. They could open up in, the Old South, or like a partial, like they could go, like Florida, North Florida, Ohio, Wisconsin, and New Mexico. And now
Mm-hmm.
you've clashed in Ohio, and that's a good thing. Um, I think this will be interesting because I don't play the way, like I don't start the way you do. So this will be interesting to see like how it translates to the beginning part of the game. But okay, so what I did was one pip in North Carolina. If knowing that I did that, what would your next inkling be?
I would get the 3 pips in Ohio and Pennsylvania, and then put a pip in Texas. If I'm
Okay.
doing my math right,
Okay.
because I would have saved on the first turn.
So hopefully you haven't done that, right? Have you done that move yet, or not yet?
No.
Okay, so here's my recommendation. I like the fact that you're in Ohio and in Pennsylvania. However, it doesn't make sense to spend up into the third pip in those states because it doesn't net you a bonus. And so, it's okay if that's what you decide to do. I know the turn's
Uh-huh.
going right now. But that's just one helpful tip. If you were to go, let's say, into Wisconsin, Virginia, and North Carolina, which is what I would have done in your shoes on that turn.
Mm-hmm.
You would have been able to get the swing state bonus on turn 3. And
Okay.
if you get it uncontested, all you have to do is add Illinois and Michigan, and then you get that big manufacturing bonus. Now, likely you're going to face pressure from me, or we're going to clash somewhere. And so I was actually worried that you were going to go in those states, that instead of single pipping, I double pipped. That way I'd be ahead of you, or if we clashed, we'd be back at square one and we both would have access to those states.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no problem. Then did you go in Texas or just in those 2 states?
I just went in those 2 states. So then this round it would be the Texas.
Texas. Okay. So yeah, at this point, you are you're pretty much pot committed to Texas, because I am going to have that swing state bonus, right? Because I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to have Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, and Wisconsin. And so if
Mm-hmm.
you were to add all those up, that actually equals exactly 200,000. That 35 plus 22.5 plus 42.5 plus 100. That's actually a
Okay.
very, very, very viable path for FDR, because FDR has a 20% swing. And although manufacturing at 40% is FDR's bonus, it makes a little bit more sense to go swing to manufacturing instead of manufacturing to swing. Does that make sense?
Okay. Now,
Now,
what if,
okay.
like, where I'm at now, if I
Mhm.
went, instead of doing Texas, I did Michigan, and where would I be at with manufacturing? If I did Michigan in another state in manufacturing, and then put a pip in California to work towards high tech.
Okay, so you need to make a choice here.
Uh-huh.
Now, because I have Virginia, and you're not in any other high tech states, I would recommend in your position Texas here,
Okay.
just because you want to get a bonus as soon as possible. Especially, I'd argue that you're probably already a half a turn, if not a full turn behind, because
Okay.
I'm going to get that swing state bonus, and JFK has a um, looks like a neutral. No, he has a 15%, so $115,000. Now,
Okay.
what's worst case scenario? So let's say you go 2 pips into Texas, right?
Uh-huh.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
You steal my oil and my cheap, at least, oil and gas
Okay, that would be
out of the swing
bad.
states.
That would be bad. But you're going for manufacturing. So if I'm going to have swing state money, what states could I potentially go after?
In manufacturing?
Yeah, so if this next
Were
turn,
you?
This next turn, the first two turns, I went in Florida, North Carolina, Virginia, Wisconsin. Assuming that I go up in those states,
Uh-huh.
I'm going to get $115,000 next turn. That's money that I can use to pressure you in Ohio and Pennsylvania. So
True.
even if
Yeah.
you go up in Texas here, there's not a for sure thing that you're going to keep manufacturing. So
Right.
it's unfortunate the way it played out in the beginning, but what it might be wise to do is open up in like a state like Indiana, where if I were to steal one of Ohio or Pennsylvania, then you can still get manufacturing by keeping the other.
Okay.
Now, do you have to do it this turn? You don't. You can take a risk that that player doesn't think that way. Maybe they're
Mm-hmm.
just trying to get their bonuses and move on. But how I like to play is I like to get my bonuses as fast as possible, but I also like to contest my other opponent's bonuses. Usually, if a player goes swing states, it's very popular that another player goes town and gown because those are both bonuses you can get in 3 turns. But
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and make your move. I'm sorry, I know we're getting low on time here.
It's okay. Do you want me to just do Texas?
Do whatever you think is best, but I would definitely enter Texas.
Okay.
And so we'll see. Basically you have 420,000, so you don't have enough to go 2 pips into Texas and like a pip in Indiana. So it looks like that you're going to go spend 245. Looks like you're going to go into, is it Texas and Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay. And I like that because Michigan and Pennsylvania is a great foundation toward high tech. You just need
Yeah.
California and the Connecticut. So although it's maybe an extra bit of money to go, a Michigan versus an Indiana, it's okay. Now on this turn, where could I go? I can go into um, I can go into Ohio. I can go into Maryland. I can go in Louisiana, plus all of the swing states. I have a
Mm-hmm.
total of $405,000, but I have my swing state bonus.
Right. So are you asking me where the threat is at?
Yes. So
Well, obviously in the
I'm gonna make my move of what I would do.
okay.
Say 100% of the time, but what I most likely would do. Okay, so I've made my move. So looking at the board, can you get these swings? Can you get the manufacturing bonus this turn?
Yes.
Okay. So if
Wait.
you can, that would be good to get it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
However, that would require you to go up in Texas by 400,000 and keep Ohio.
Right.
Now, what you could do is delay manufacturing, and not go up in Texas and defend Ohio if you think I'm going to steal it, or you can just try to get your bonus now and know that hey, my opponent, he's not in Pennsylvania, he's not in Michigan. As long as it doesn't steal Ohio, maybe I'll get lucky, but I'll for sure get it next turn. So
Right. Okay.
either way is fine, obviously, but those are the thought processes that you want to go through. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I have the chance to get a bonus like Old South, I probably am going to do that so you can subtract the money. And so if there is an Ohio state, a state of Ohio steal on my behalf, you can subtract the 70 from Maryland and the 50 from Louisiana.
Okay.
And so if you ever are thinking about like partially defending, you would basically subtract my total amount minus what I'm going to get my other bonuses, and then I have let's say I have like an additional 200,000. Well, I'm most likely going to go past you in Ohio by 4 pips, or I could save all that money in swing states, as JFK, and roll it over to Colorado, New Mexico, some of those oil and gas states, because later on, if you get manufacturing, I sure as heck, as a JFK, I don't want you to get oil and gas. So
Right.
that's the disadvantage of you not having a bonus, and that's okay. But go ahead and make your turn whenever you are ready. Do you play a lot of multiplayer games too, Kayleigh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this strategy that you are doing is more likely to work in a multiplayer instead of a
It
one.
does. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So I can definitely see where you are influenced by that.
Yeah.
And so it's I love multiplayer games, but it's definitely a different type of game. And so I did get the old South bonus of 42,000. I did go past you in Ohio, just because I knew that there was no mathematical way for you to go up in Texas and defend Ohio. So
Right.
even if I just prevent it for a turn, that's $105,000 that FDR does not get for manufacturing. So now I can speak from experience, and what most players probably should do is they should automatically, I went past you in Ohio. I should probably just close it off. Um,
Hmm.
Now I'm going to not spend extra cash. I'm just going to spend my bonus money in Ohio. Just talking aloud, but I'm actually going to go one pip because I don't want you to spend all of your cash and steal it back. Even though that would be the risky way to get the bonus. Obviously, you can get the bonus by just going up in Michigan and keeping Pennsylvania. So
Uh-huh.
I'm going to spend my money here, and I'm going to look at the map. Okay, so I've made my turn. Now let's look at your so you got 275. Obviously,
Okay.
you're already to the third pip in Texas. You're kind of pot committed at this point. You're gonna spend $90,000 in Michigan,
Hmm.
and so you just spent 90,000. Do you want to talk about why you saved the rest of that money?
To see where you were going to go, because I kind of just assumed that you were going to go into Pennsylvania because you have the swing state bonus.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, so kind of like switching into defense mode.
Okay.
Not
And that
necessarily defense mode, but like letting you lead and then kind of deciding where I was going to go from there.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a great. I appreciate the honesty. I think that's very true. That's what most people do in this situation. The problem with that is because you did not invest in any other manufacturing bonus, now you're at the mercy of having to defend. Let's say
Hmm.
you would have gone one pip into Indiana. If you keep, your Michigan, which I'm not even in Michigan. So if you were to keep Michigan and then let's say you were in one pip in Indiana, you could go up $50,000 and secure Indiana to go with your Michigan. And then no
Hmm.
matter what, you're going to keep the manufacturing bonus. And you're not even spending cash, you're spending 50,000 of that 105. So you still have $55,000 that you can defend, bonus money in Pennsylvania. You can attack me in North Carolina, make me use some of my swing state money or my old South money in North Carolina. Same thing with Wisconsin, and so that's the thing where it's not really a science. It's more of an art, but you have to know when to put pressure on your opponents. And it
Hmm.
may not be real pressure, but once you're there the rest of the game. So what you would hate to have happen is spend, let's say you have all this manufacturing bonus and you were to go all in Pennsylvania. Well, if I don't spend in Pennsylvania, now you've spent a bunch of cash to lock a
Yeah.
state and then not, so
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and make my move, and then I'll talk a little bit about. But look at the board of where I am, and what do you think I'm going to do this turn?
Secure the African American bonus.
Okay, and I can get that with just by going up in my old South states.
Yeah.
So you are right. That's one thing I'm going to do.
And then I don't know, maybe New York.
Maybe New York. Yep, New York would be a good play probably. So I've submitted my turn.
Okay.
Um, and we'll see what you do here. FDR is a really great candidate to learn. I'm glad you chose FDR because there are so many different pathways with FDR. I've seen, you mentioned Rebecca Gill earlier. She used to play out in New
Hmm.
York with Rebecca or with FDR. Um, a lot of good players that I know um, went out of went out of Florida. Sapan Lianage was one of the first players to really go out of California with FDR, which there have been, more strategies that have come out to kind of deter from that. But it looks like that you did go Oh my gosh, you went to California. So I did get that African American bonus, which is a $120,000 bonus. So obviously you're behind as far as bonuses go, three bonuses to one.
Mm-hmm.
But you do have a big opportunity here to possibly get the ag bonus and the oil bonus by having California and by having Texas. Now, I absolutely love the fact that you had diamond hands, as you call it, in Pennsylvania. I didn't spend. I actually went up in, Colorado and New Mexico, kind of playing some defense. And
Mm-hmm.
so let me make my move here. And then once I do that, I'll ask you a question.
Okay. Do you want me to make my move?
Um, Go ahead and think about it. Don't hit intern yet.
Okay.
So, and I have made my turn. Um, so looking at it, obviously, I wouldn't say the no brainer move, but 95% or more of the time, I would say you go up in California here, right?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that because and at this point, being down bonuses, you need to get bonuses as fast as possible. One
Right.
thing in hindsight that you could have done, and again, you might not have known that you were going to go California. Like that was maybe dependent on what I did. But
Correct.
if you do go California and New York, you get two bonuses only. But the ag bonus and the oil bonus, those are great for FDR. But
Mm-hmm.
you're really really close to exports and to Latino. Now, if you were to keep Michigan here and Pennsylvania, you'll actually get the export bonus, which is good. If you go up in any Latino state, you would get Latino. It doesn't matter which Latino state. So it could be Florida, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Illinois, New York, or New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Last turn, you had that manufacturing bonus, and I'm glad you went into Indiana because that was the cheapest. But what you
Mm-hmm.
could have done was you could have put a pip or two into Illinois, and then this turn, either go up in California and Illinois and get that Latino to go with that,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe I steal one of your states last turn. But yeah, you are on the precipice here of several bonuses.
Yeah. So what? Like this is like kind of the pivotal point with FDR and in me, um,
Okay.
where it's I have the manufacturing bonus and I don't want to lose the manufacturing bonus in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so which is the reason why I didn't go into Illinois. I thought about it and then I didn't. I like held myself back because I had that bonus already and I didn't want to like. It's kind of like a toss up at that point. So
Yeah. Well,
my thoughts with Pennsylvania is it's such a versatile.
it is.
It's like North Carolina where like you can go pretty much in numerous directions with it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah,
but
Pennsylvania.
having Pennsylvania and Michigan also secures high tech. And if I have, what do I have? If I go for Washington,
Mm-hmm.
Utah, and
You only really need 15,000 more
Delaware,
in high tech. Yeah, you
yeah,
just need if you have California, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. If you get a Connecticut even, or in a Utah or a Washington, just one of those states, that's enough for high tech. So this turn is critical. The crazy thing is you're not pressuring me in a single state. That's just the way the game has played out. I have pressure in just Pennsylvania and did you get your turn in? Hopefully, shoot.
no, I didn't.
Oh crap. I'm sorry.
No, it's
Um,
okay. I didn't even notice the clock was like that low.
I just looked down there 3 seconds. I'm like, oh crap. So, and actually, it didn't actually kill you that you didn't spin there because I didn't attack you anywhere. And that I did close off Ohio, which is something that I knew that you weren't going to take that, but I just there's no reason to take a chance. Just lock it out because sometimes newbie players will just go for it. I did go for all of the Latino states. So even though you had, you know, the opportunity to get it, I went into New York with my African American, with Illinois. I went into Nevada. I already had, Colorado and New Mexico, and I went New Jersey. So
Mhm.
I actually was going to concede Pennsylvania, but I was going to, let you go after the, high tech bonus and get that export bonus. So I would have basically the three bonuses I have now: African American, Old South, and Swing. But then I was going to go after the Latino bonus.
Okay.
Now, you're basically going to have pretty much all the rest of the bonuses, but you're going to be at a very high risk of losing some of them. And so now you're even another half a turn behind, but you now have $800,000 to pressure me in. Where are some states in this scenario where you would put pressure on me and put the maximum amount of stress on me?
Um, Probably high tech if you're going into New York.
Okay.
Um,
So, like states that I'm already in.
States that you're already in, oil and gas. So I would go for the swing state. Well, no, because you haven't really spent. So, Latino.
Latino, yep. So you can definitely pressure me in Latino. I would put a single pip into all of the Latino states if I were you.
Okay.
Nevada, New Jersey, maybe not all of them, but for sure the rinky dinky ones, the Colorados, the New Mexicos, the Nevadas. Even if I like spend all of my cash next turn to get it, that just means that you can't have it. Are there any other states that you might want to put pressure on?
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Okay, that would be defense. So
Okay.
you
Oh
already have
well.
it. And you might want to defend. That's a good point.
Um. n- See, I like get caught on.
So you have $800,000. Obviously, you're going to spend 200,000 to go up in California here, right?
Right.
That leaves you with 600,000, and you have manufacturing. So are you in Illinois yet?
Yes.
You are in Illinois.
Well,
Okay,
no, I have not.
but you're going to this turn.
Yes.
Yeah, I 100%. And this would have been a state last turn you would have got into, but because you zero spent, sometimes let's pretend this could have been a 1 minute timer match, and sometimes you miss a turn and you have to like play with the cards that you're dealt. And so,
Right.
if this was the case and you missed a turn, obviously right now, if I were in your shoes, I'd be going in Illinois, I'd be going in Nevada, I'd be going in Arizona, I'd be going in Colorado, I'd be going to New Mexico. I probably would leave New Jersey alone. I would probably leave New York alone just because that's not real. And there's a very good chance that someone might double pick New York here. They have the African American bonus that
Hmm.
so, but yeah, if you think I'm going to steal Pennsylvania, that would be something that you could defend. The good thing is you don't have to worry about Michigan. But if you didn't want to defend Pennsylvania, what you could do is just spend your manufacturing money in Illinois to give you access, but then go up in Indiana. And if you keep Indiana and Michigan, you're guaranteed to have the manufacturing bonus next turn.
Okay.
So, I mean, so again, Pennsylvania is critical. If you lose Pennsylvania, you're probably not going to get high tech, at least in the next one or two turns. If you lose it, you're definitely not going to get export, and you have 15 seconds left. So,
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so nice. You went up in Indiana. You spent big, 748,000. I'm not watching everything here. I was looking at the comments in the stream. We got lots of people tuning in. This is cool. So you did pressure New Jersey. That's okay, and you did not pressure New York. Defended Pennsylvania to the eighth pip. Pretty aggressive, but that's okay. And so you're going for the high tech bonus. You are going to get oil and gas and the ag bonus, which we knew that from just going up in California. But having that Pennsylvania did net you 60K in export. Export is a minor bonus, but with FDR, it's a moderate bonus. Ag and export. Don't ignore these bonuses, but don't go out of your way to overspend. Now,
Mhm.
I would argue that you maybe slightly overspent, but you're kind of hedging your bets because you want to get money, but you also want to be in these states. One state you did not get into is Florida. You're going to pressure Florida. I know that you're going to pressure Florida. Like 90% of games, there's pressure in Florida,
Mhm.
and so I think that was wise. You delayed that because it's not real right now. So I have
Right.
plenty to defend. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and make my turn here,
Okay.
and then I give me 20 seconds, and then I will check back in with you. But if you were looking at my board, what do you think I'm going to do? Just from a pure, like just taking a guess.
Um, you are going to pip up in New York, go for Massachusetts, Connecticut, maybe even steal Michigan from me.
Okay.
Um, you have a lot of room with swing states, so um, and possible. No, that wouldn't make sense. Maybe California to compete
Okay.
in California,
Mm-hmm.
which I would say would be, I don't know, get me to waste my money.
And I'm already there, but that would
Mhm.
be. I mean, you're actually not in a bad spot in this position. That pressure, that's the point where I mean, this game really, these next two turns are going to be absolutely critical.
Right. Um,
Okay, so I have made my move.
okay, I'm gonna make mine.
I just did something really dumb. I thought you were in Arizona. So I just locked out Arizona for like actually no reason. That was dumb, but that's okay. I got the town and gown bonus by going up in Arizona, Nevada, and um, by keeping Iowa. Now you did lock New Mexico, and that's a great play because that guarantees you Latino for the rest of the game.
Mhm.
Now that would not have worked in a scenario where I didn't have to defend Arizona and New Mexico and Colorado. I think I talked about it. What happened was I said you should do this, and then I just assumed that you did. And you did not pressure Arizona, so you actually pressured New Jersey. So, and that's a really good guessing game to play. I mean, if let's say you go in all those states, you go in, Illinois, you go in New Jersey, Nevada, it's impossible for to defend all those. So you did choose the cheapest one. I'd say that works probably less than 50% of the time. I don't have a number to it, but now you've got 5 bonuses, including the high tech bonus. So you have high tech, you have Latino. That's gonna be good for you. Now you did pressure Illinois, you did pressure North Carolina, um, so definitely some good states. I'm going to go ahead and make my move here, and then I will check back in with you. Okay.
Okay.
Because I'll be honest that if this was real, like a real game, I would be nervous because I was in the driver's seat and I messed up in Arizona, which people make mistakes, and all of a sudden you're right back in it, and now From a bonus perspective, who would you rather be?
How many do you have?
I have four.
Let's see.
I have AA, Swing, Old South, and Town and Gown.
See, the problem is securing 270 from my standpoint, whereas for you, you have more mobility with larger states. I mean, I have high tech, which there's some in there, but like for the most part, the states that I have left are smaller states, which
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that really saves me is having high tech.
Yeah. If this turn is going to take me a little bit longer, so if you have a move, you can go ahead and submit it. I'm not trying to leave you out to dry, but I was playing around with something and I'm going to change my mind here. So,
Okay.
um, not trying to
No, it's
just
okay.
persuade you here, but okay, I have submitted my turn. Okay, so you got 40 seconds. Let's talk this through. So you've newly acquired Latino, newly acquired
I just
high tech,
okay.
Latino safe. Um, okay, and the turn went through. So I locked Colorado, which is just a state that I wanted to, and I'm glad that you did expand into Connecticut. Connecticut's a great state to be in. You've got Michigan locked. You did go for Illinois. I don't blame you. And even though you clashed, you probably didn't lose a whole lot of money. You had 105 in manufacturing, plus you had what? You had export of 60, and you also had Latino. So let's say
Yeah.
you through all
Isn't
that
Illinois agriculture too?
in agriculture, yeah.
Yeah.
So putting myself in your shoes, I would have done that, almost 100% of the time. I also, as you know, that's most likely going to be blocked, but that takes away from my African American bonus. So keep that in mind to where, I did defend North Carolina, but I only went to like the seventh pit because I had to use just my Old South. So
Okay.
let's say in another world where instead of going for Michigan or defending Michigan, maybe you try to sneak attack North Carolina there. Now that's risky. I'm not recommending that, but those are some those are some of the thoughts that you want to think about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
but also maybe a strategy of mine would have been to take away high tech, and if I take away Michigan, that turn. You would have potentially lost high tech. Now you could get it back and you did the right thing by expanding. Now, Michigan wouldn't have been that big of a deal. So, okay, give me about 30 seconds to make my move.
Okay.
Okay, I've made my turn. Now let's put yourselves in your shoes here. You're at 166 EVs. I'm at 256. What are some things that you can do to either make up the ground or win the game?
Secure the high tech states.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing manufacturing. There's finishing oil and gas, which are just small states, but
Mm-hmm.
putting pressure on Wisconsin now that you've been spending it in North Carolina.
Yep. Wisconsin's a good state to pressure.
Well as Virginia and Massachusetts because those are two high
Virginia,
tech states.
Virginia is a 100. Even if you didn't, just the cost of Virginia for the EVs is an automatic pressure. You also have high tech, and that's a no brainer for sure. Pressure Virginia. What else?
The middle agriculture state, I have the agriculture bonus.
So,
So,
so this is something that where a lot of mid-tier beginner players they make the mistake of. Sure, you want to be in those states, but the likelihood of a ballot happening is not good. Now, you could go for a ballot yourself, or you could like maybe put like a random pip like in Montana and like two pips like in North Dakota, like split it, and then not spend, and then just pressure. And if you pressure me in the right pressure points you could put some maximum pressure on me and really flip this game around. So you've mentioned Virginia, you've mentioned Wisconsin. What about Louisiana?
um,
You have export, you have oil and gas. That's a good one.
right.
What about Florida?
See, I don't ever go to Florida with African American and swing when
Uh,
my
what
opponent has.
about okay? What so if you want to punt Florida, that's fine. What about New York?
Mm,
You get 7 seconds.
okay, I'm just submitting what I have.
Okay, great. Sorry.
Um,
But
no,
let's
it's
talk
okay.
about let's talk about New York. So if you pressure me in New York, and let's say that that's all you do the rest of the game in New York, you don't spend any more than that 150.
Mm-hmm.
That basically tells me that you have high tech. You're coming for me. I have to commit at least my AA or my towning gown, and I'm going to defend that like 9 out of 10 times, maybe
Mm-hmm.
maybe 10 out of 10 times. But that takes away money that I have that I can um, spend other places. Towning gown, especially, look if you look at Missouri and Minnesota, where those are battleground states. Late in the game, that can be who wins. And if I don't use my town and gown sparingly, then all of a sudden you can flip those and you can win. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you got 40 EVs that turn. You're already at the 206, and you're not pressuring me in um, many states. Now you did pressure me in Virginia, which is great. I'd say there is a great chance here that I lock Virginia just as a player, just because I have AA, Old South, and Swing, and it's such a good EVs. Now I'm just talking out loud. I'm not telling you what to do, but I've not defended North Carolina in 3 turns. So sometimes you'll see that where they leave it, and they close it off, or they just take it for granted. Those are clues that you have to look up, and kind of know your opponent. And you'll learn those as you play people more. So let me make my turn here. Are you having fun?
Yeah. No, this is like super helpful. It's not often like I put as much thought into it as I am right now.
Yeah, and that's good. And it's a critical thinking game, and at this level of play, um, it's what's the right way to describe it? It's it if I played like a robot, it wouldn't be fun, but the human element of it, definitely adds that extra strategy to it.
Right. Am I going to make my turn?
I'm sorry. So yes, I did just submit my turn. You can submit your turn whenever you are ready.
Okay.
Okay. So now the turn's going. I was getting worried, and I still am worried because I don't know how it's going to play, but I went for a ballot. And so I went 2 pips in every single state.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you went 2 pips anywhere, but I locked Nevada. I locked Virginia. And there were a couple other states to lock to get over 100 EVs. So there's the New York pressure. Double New York pressure. Wow. Okay. So now I will say that if you blocked a ballot right here, I'd be kind of worried because
Eh.
if you get you know, California, Texas, and New York, that's like so many bonuses. Okay, so I did defend Wisconsin. That was a good steal. I like the Wisconsin grab versus punting Virginia going for Wisconsin. I defended both. Normally I wouldn't defend both, but because I had to go for a ballot and try to get over the EVs, that's why I tried to
Mhm.
block in some EVs. But
Okay.
thankfully, I did for my sake I did create a ballot, and now you're in a situation where you are only in Minnesota, Oregon. I locked Nevada last turn with cash, but you can flip Latino, you can flip New York, and you can flip North Carolina. You can flip Wisconsin again. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my turn. Okay, so I've submitted my turn. Now,
Um, there's like
yeah,
no.
you're just not in enough states at this point,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. And that's okay. But you had to go for North Carolina. That's okay. You had the manufacturing money. Did you go for New York?
No.
Okay.
I went for New Jersey.
Okay. New Jersey was good because you had Latino, so you got it. Um, you did defend Oklahoma. That was good. So like usually you always I always play offense on the ballot, even if I'm ahead. Like I try to take away EVs
Mhm.
just because there's some people who defend nothing. So
Yeah.
all good. So that was a good game. So really, the biggest thing was the beginning part of the game,
Okay.
and not trying to commit yourself to like a set strategy. You really want to go match for match. And if you can outmaneuver your opponent to like a swing state bonus or an old South bonus, then that can really set you up for, to be way more successful. Do you have time for, and we won't play the whole match out, but do you have time for one more where I can go through the beginning part with you again?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to hit rematch, and that we don't have to
Okay.
go through a code or anything.
Oh, this part is so slow.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to check out the comments here. Got 15 people watching. That's pretty cool.
Oh wow.
Got Diamond Elections, Chase Moss, Blue Panda 900, Kelly Loeffler. Oh, it says all 8 of my games are closed here, so I'm going to have to get in that stupid glitch again. I'm going to have to exit out of the game and get back in. Sorry, guys. I'm sharing my screen. You can see all my unread emails that I need to click on.
Yeah, mine are text messages. Emails aren't so bad, but like my text messages right now are insane.
That's funny.
Just
So
random.
I'm reading the comments here, and it says Blue Panda 900 said you should pressure North Carolina and Virginia. Brendan has a tendency to overspin there. So see, people have tendencies, and a lot of my games are streamed, and I will admit that I have tendencies. I'm actually going to disagree with that. I do love Virginia, North Carolina. Not so much. Like I'd say I have North Carolina like 20% of my games. Now, it depends on the game, obviously, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a great state to have. It's valuable. All the state groups associated with it. They got it one more time. I did delete the game. Do you want to be FDR again?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm gonna be someone, and I'll kind of go into the mental, like the thinking of it behind. So let's say that you were going into a game and you wanted to get that manufacturing bonus, just like just like you did. I'm gonna do play friends, host a game. Hopefully, no one in the chat steals this code. That would be very unfortunate. Let me get.
Did you say it?
No, it's gonna be on my
Okay,
screen though.
because you broke up for a second there.
Okay, yeah. As soon as I click on this guy, it'll pop up here though. So, are you ready to type it in?
Yep.
Okay. The code is sour SOUR poverty 6.
Are you ready for me to hit join?
Yes.
Okay.
And so you're going to be FDR again, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So for those of you who are just tuning in, this is Kayleigh, and she's on my team for the Choice, which is a tournament inside the 270 Lounge. Kayleigh, look at my character. Have you ever played against a Ron DeSantis?
I'm sure I have.
Okay. And this is what I do when I look at my opponent. I look at their player card. I go, where is this guy going to start? What is this? Who is this guy? Look at my swing state bonus.
Yeah. Oh, I saw it.
Yeah, 35%. So in your mind, I'm going to go for swing. If you can get swing before I get swing, that is a huge advantage. So, I don't know what your goal is to try to get swing, but try to get swing states, as the best that you can, okay?
Okay.
So I'm going to make a move, and I'm going to pretend like I know nothing about this. Like this is an opening um that I have seen at the top level. Like I'm in the RHL White House. A lot of the players like to go a certain path, and so this is kind of a counter to that. But I've made my move. So, what are some of your What are some of your thoughts? Do you want to go for Florida? Do you want to clash in Florida? Do you want to go in like kind of the same thing like Pennsylvania and Ohio, because those are important states for manufacturing later on? Or what are some of your thought processes?
Kind of like doing the roundabout way, the non-traditional way, I guess I would say.
Okay, so without
Going
Florida.
out west,
Okay.
then going up, going for the expensive states. I don't. I'm thinking my Ohio, my Pennsylvania, Wisconsin,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
Arizona.
Okay. So now go ahead and make your move. Now you do know that you cannot get the swing state bus until turn 3, no matter what, right? Because you have to have $200,000 of money spent, and that's just not possible, until turn 3. So, you're going 1 pip in Arizona. Looks like 1 pip in Ohio, 1 pip in Pennsylvania, Virginia, Wisconsin. Okay, so that's good. You've got a lot of states, and we didn't have any clashes, so you've got the pure advantage when it comes to those states. No one entered into Florida. I do have a money advantage, but when you think about it like this, I really don't have any kind of advantage because we both went in the swing states. There were no conflicts, and we're only on the first pip. So really, it is a 0-0 game still. Nothing's been decided. And so from this point, what you do is really going to have a big effect on who wins the swing state battle. So I am going to go ahead and make my move.
So to use a calculator this whole time?
Do I?
Yeah.
No, I don't. I don't use a calculator.
Oh, okay. Because you said that.
I just do it in my head. Yeah. So swing states is one of the easiest bonuses to add, just because it's 200,000, and so it looks like that you did go up in Pennsylvania and Ohio, and I do like that, and Wisconsin. So you're putting a lot of pressure on me. I did pressure you, but you are way ahead of me in those states. So if I go ahead of you and I clash and I'm wrong, that that's pretty damaging to me. So we did clash in New Mexico, but again, that doesn't matter because that was the first pip. We go back to even, right? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So who would you rather be right now?
Um, myself, because you have more. You're like defending in the other states,
So
correct?
let me ask you this: the only thing is, can you get the swing state bonus this turn?
Um,
So 60. So if you do Ohio is 50 plus Wisconsin and New Mexico, that's 100 plus 60 in Pennsylvania. So you would need 40 and you only have 24. So you cannot get the swing state bonus this turn.
oh shit.
So that's okay. But if you could, I would be really scared for myself right now because um, I would have to then pick a random state to attack you in, and like let's say that you were in 2 pips in Florida right now, or not Florida's maybe too extreme. Let's say you had Iowa, Colorado, and New Mexico uncontested. You could go up in those states and get to 100, and there's nothing I could do unless I stole it from you. So then, what you could do is not go up and swing, and you could just defend like a couple in Pennsylvania, a couple in Ohio, and hope I clash. Like, let's say I spend 5 pips in Pennsylvania and you only spend three. That's $120,000 of cash that I spent, and it guarantees that you're going to get swing the next turn. So it's just kind of the game within the game. Whenever you're in a battle of, what do you think my opponent's going to do? You may have nothing to go off of if you don't know that username. But there's 15 seconds left, so go ahead and make your spend. And what did you do?
Arizona went into North Carolina,
That was
Pennsylvania.
really that was really smart in North Carolina, and it might have been an over defense in the other states. Just like I was talking about, um, there's a chance that someone gets frisky and tries to steal those. I don't hate it, but since you can't get the bonus that last turn, I would either save as much cash as you possibly can, roll it over, because now I have the ability to spend 459 and you can only spend 290. Now, what about Florida?
Yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
could.
I'm in. No, I'm just saying I'm in Florida, so I can get to the third pip this turn and guarantee half of the swing state bonus. So I would only need 100,000 more. I already have Virginia uncontested. So that's one. That's 122. Iowa uncontested. That's 142. Colorado uncontested. That's 160. I only need 40 more. I only have I have New Hampshire uncontested. See where I'm starting to go with this?
Yeah.
So even if I lose North Carolina, which it would hurt pretty bad if I lost North Carolina, but there are other paths I can go. So let me see what happens here. Thank you, Blue Panda 900, for regulating the chat. I appreciate it. Sorry, we're kind of going quiet here, and you've got 30 seconds. Okay, so I went up in those states I was talking about, which is pretty predictable. You did pressure Florida, which is going to signal that you're, going to you. If we play this game out, you'd be going for swing states.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna be a state chaser.
Gonna be a state chaser. That's okay. So I did flip Wisconsin. And so none of the other states matter. It's that same path I had last time because I still have North Carolina, Virginia. Actually, I'm not even used North Carolina, so I lied. I know I didn't need North Carolina because I had all the other states. But now you're pressuring Florida, and in this case, because you invested 2 pips, of cash, I don't mind spending my bonus money just to defend Florida, just to guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably go up in North Carolina, and then what I would do is just pressure Arizona, basically pressure all the swing states from this point. Maybe not
Mm-hmm.
even spend any more cash because I don't have to, but I probably would lock Wisconsin just to kind of guarantee that I keep that bonus. You see that process from my side.
Yeah.
Now, I think that you might have pivoted. So this is a key point, Kayleigh. I think that the Florida move was maybe overkill. 1 pip would have been the same amount of benefit to maybe, like, let's say you only spent 100,000 in Florida and then you save the rest. You could still go past me. I still have to defend. That's an extra 100,000 in your pocket, and you'd have 375 this turn. What I would do with that turn is then I would low spend. Like, you may even zero spend. You've lost the swing state battle, but you did not lose the game. And then you could force me to have to defend. And then if you were to put, a pip into Texas, you could just as easily get manufactured if you somehow hold on to Ohio and Pennsylvania. Now, odds are that I would likely try to steal one of those states to prevent you from that. But like, if you just went one in Texas, that forces me to all of a sudden take away that manufacturing. You go one more in Texas, and then the next turn, if you go 2 pips in California, like you did last game, all of a sudden you're sitting right on California and Texas again, and you are right back in it. So it's just a matter of, when you're up against a wall like that, of kind of pivoting out of it, where you can't win the game on turn 4,
Mm-hmm.
but you can lose the game on turn 4. If you were to spend 200,000 here in Florida and I defend it, you're toast. Just because a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother turn of that swing, I can basically choose if I want to go Texas and get, manufacturing and ag. I could pivot to New York and get African American and town and gown. I could pivot to California. I may not necessarily get high tech, but I'll get ag and probably a good chance at that high tech bonus. Plus, I could always just fill up the old South and get the African American bonus. So, it's a real advantage to have cash, obviously, versus bonus money. But you did low spend, so do you want to play this out, or it's up to you?
Am I gonna play the South?
Yeah.
Um, Probably not with FDR.
Okay. Yeah. All good. But I can go ahead and forfeit and shut it down. But that was basically the premise of the
Okay.
stream, basically to show you, the different, starting paths.
Uh-huh.
So with FDR specifically, he obviously doesn't have big national groups, and national groups aren't very prevalent in 1v1. But
Uh-huh.
he does have a Old South penalty, which is unattractive because that's one of the basic openings. And so I think you can go 1 pip in New York if you want to go, town and gown, high tech, like any typical Democrat. That's not his best strength, but
Mm-hmm.
it allows you to basically build and kind of reverse engineer a map where you can go town and gown, high tech, and then you could go manufacturing swing, or swing manufacturing, or you can go swing manufacturing, ag, high tech in California, oil. That's really, if you can get the oil, manufacturing, ag, high tech, export bonus, like
Mm-hmm.
those five, like that's the best way to play with FDR. If you get Latino, great. Like, Latino's icing on the cake. But that's personally how I play. Now, if you get Texas and California, it makes no sense not to get Latino, like you did in New Mexico that last turn. But
Right.
the way it worked out is I think I would have had enough money to defend every single state. I would have defended Colorado, New Mexico, and Nevada, and two pips in Illinois. Um, but I waste all that money in Arizona.
Yeah.
So I think you were that turn that you zero spent. If you pressure me the turn before, it becomes real pressure. And then I have to make the right call. You still have to make the right steal, but then it's a 50-50 toss up. So,
Right.
so yeah, I think you definitely can take this and build upon it. You already, I'm going to forfeit on my end here. You already have the knowledge of like the basic psychology of it. I mean, you've beat
Hmm.
some good players. It's just a matter of putting yourself in a position where you can maximize those bonuses. So, that swing situation where you were short, that's easily avoidable if you just double check before you make a move. In a
Yeah.
1 minute timer, obviously, you don't have time to crunch all the numbers, but in a 3 or 5 minute timer, it's good to just have that sheet with you in just a basic calculator to triple check.
Right on.
Awesome. Well, do
Right
you have
on.
any questions for me or anything that to the 17 people who are watching this?
Wow, and it grew.
We were up to 21 about 5 minutes ago, but
That's pretty impressive.
I think it was my poor gameplay that turned all these people off.
Um, I guess my only question would be like just based on like the way that you've seen me play, is FDR like the best choices for a candidate?
FDR is a great candidate. FDR to me is an A level candidate. So I actually am doing a President's Day live stream coming
Uh-huh.
up in a week or so, or 2 weeks, whenever President's Day is, and I'm ranking all of the candidates. It's going to be a
Okay.
two hour deal. I'm going to have about 4 or 5 guys on to go through like how to prioritize what bonuses, and obviously different players have different strategies. Frederick Douglass is a candidate that is very much like FDR, but instead of like high tech as like that secondary boom bonus to manufacturing,
Mm-hmm.
it's African American. So you can play out at the East Coast and do like
Right.
also kind of like an Abraham Lincoln.
Right on.
Um, I would say that new Biden candidate that came out, that President Biden is probably the best candidate in the game,
Okay.
just because of the high AA, high swing, and he's like super powerful everywhere else.
Uh-huh.
But Michelle Obama is another good candidate, because I mean any candidate that has that 50% African American bonus is super deadly. Um,
Right.
so like Stacey Abrams is a candidate. Now she's a negative in swing, but she has an Old South and an AA bonus, so you can go and pivot that direction. Republican strat. You mentioned that the Ronald Reagan. That's another candidate that you play with. Ronald Reagan's great for multiplayer.
Yeah.
There's actually a possible buff coming to Ronald Reagan. I know that's a claim that a lot of players have been wanting. So I've been working with the 270 team with these new candidates. There's actually Arnold Schwarzenegger coming out tomorrow. And myself and a couple other people in the lounge got to actually sit down with 270 and design that character. So that's
Oh,
pretty
that's
cool.
awesome.
So depending on how well this goes, it may turn into something that we get to do more of. So that's the good thing. I know we're working
Yeah.
toward having the game be more balanced, Republicans, Democrats. Just play the game to have fun. Obviously, I'm competitive. You're competitive. We want to win. But learn from your matches. You don't have to be a nerd and write down every single win and loss like I do. But if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Facebook. Just send me a private message and I can, coach you. This tournament that we are in, I have no expectations. You literally can't let me down. So I'm just happy someone picked me because I turned my button last year for like 6 people and no one picked me. I got basically who was left.
Oh.
So, and that's okay. Like the whole concept was, I don't need you as a coach. I can just watch your YouTube videos, and that's true.
Well,
So
I mean, that's like the reason why I had picked you in the first place, because Jason Casey had this like attention to detail that was honestly like, holy cow.
mhm.
But then I was like, personality wise, like your YouTube videos were the first ones that like the strategy clicked for me. So it
Mhm.
was like obviously our thought processes like, work together.
Yeah,
So
for sure. And I will
just gonna
say,
go with that.
Jason's amazing. His attention to detail is amazing too. And um, it's something that, as a player, I do it subconsciously. You kind of have to make these quick decisions in your head, and tendencies play into it, but just the pure like numbers play into it. So
Right.
obviously there's the efficient way to do it, but like if I know that my opponent also knows that, then it affects my gameplay. But I'm talking about at the absolute like high level, like me versus Jason Casey.
Right.
I'm playing in the public lobby. I'm gonna win like 95% of the time. That recent tournament we just played. Were you in the MLK tournament?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna click on the tournament so I can so the screen is not just on some random thing here. So going to leaderboard, the tournament looks like Chris Lassinger, he went 75-2. He won with 102 win percentage. I finished in eighth place. Now it says I lost 2 games. I actually only lost one. I had a glitch, and the only reason I would have like emailed 270 and would have complained, but I just lost the first game and that knocked me down, and because of I already have a subscription anyway. I didn't, it didn't affect anything. So I actually
Uh-huh.
went 31-1. I lost to Evan Jansen, who finished in 38th place. He's on my screen here. So shout out to Evan Jansen. But I face some really good players, and if you just play like it's I want to say it gets stale, but if you play like the mathematical beginning part, you're going to put yourself in a great spot later in the game. And then once you get that peak where you've learned the different paths, then the mid game, and that is something that I'm really really good at, but it's really hard to explain because it's just a feel. And like that move in Illinois earlier where we clashed, or defending
Right.
Michigan, or a possible steal in North Carolina, or maybe a flip of you maybe try to like get selfish and keep high tech but try to flip um one of my bonuses, even if it's like take away like African American. That's like next level gameplay.
Uh-huh.
And I guarantee like Jason's and Brendan's and Eric York's, what we do is we think of all the possible scenarios, and then we put like a percentage, like, okay, she's like this, maybe like 10% chance of doing this, like a 15% chance of doing this. Mathematically, I can't block all of them, but how can I take a like a block, or I take her out of that, but also I set myself up for next turn. Because
Right.
you know, there was that first game we played, I had 3 bonuses, you had no bonuses. Like from the outside perspective, you're dead. But then
Yeah.
you get California, and I didn't expect that. That was a great move. You get California, all of a sudden you get export, Latino, ag, and oil. That's 4 bonuses to 3 bonuses. It's anybody's game, you know. So
Right.
um, definitely fun playing with you. It was nice to meet you, and I'm sure
Thanks.
I'll be talking to you later. So I will go ahead and end. Or if you just want to end the Zoom call whenever, you're welcome to stay around if you want to. I know we all have lives, but I think what I'm going to do is I've got 15 people still watching. I'm going to fire up a multiplayer. I think I'm just going to stream one multiplayer match to get me to 10 o'clock, and then I will shut down the YouTube live. So thanks for doing this, Kayleigh.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
And I will message our team chat in the morning because I think that I have to do something like pick opponents or do something. So I will be talking to you soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks.
Yep. Bye.
Awesome. So that was Kayleigh. We obviously had a fun time doing that stream, but I'm going to catch up on some of the chat here. Let me fire up bum, 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 something here. So if I go to find opponents, general information, this is the public lobby. Let's do the public lobby. That's fine. I probably am going to have to delete a game here. This is absolutely annoying, this ongoing games deal. And I don't know if you guys have this or not too. There's a spectate code up in the top. Maybe they're working on like a new like update, but it just will not let me delete all these games here. So it gets on the screen, it just locks. So I have to get out of the app, get back in the app. But I'm going to fire up a game here. And if you guys want to join, you guys sure as heck can. So yeah, that was just playing for fun. That turn 8 forfeit. Obviously, I wouldn't do that in a real deal, but I was just trying to coach my teammate there. No worries. Okay, so I'm gonna do find a opponent, public lobby. Got a lot of games going on. We got a 4-player, a 1-player. So I'm gonna create a game here. If you guys have a game going on, I can wait a hot minute. It's not a huge deal. Let's play as FDR in honor of Kayleigh. So appreciate her hopping on. Gonna do a 4-player multiplayer match. And I'll throw that in the public lobby. Again, there's no code. Anyone's welcome to join. Tonight is Sunday. I am off work on Monday. Tomorrow, going to a doctor's appointment for my son's 1-year checkup. But I will be live tomorrow at 10 p.m. Central. So we got Iz, Go Donald Trump, and Karina Wilkerson in the comments. So 3 Democrats and a Republican. Good luck to everybody here. Reagan's probably going to go national groups. Let's look at Nancy's got a 35% labor, 15% swing, 25% African American. Very balanced candidate for Nancy Pelosi. RBG national groups, but she could do something surprising here. I have FDR, manufacturing, export, and I have a buff to African American with Douglas, which is one reason why I like having Douglas here. But if you guys have watched any of my streams lately, some of these multiplayer, I've been taking the gamble more and more, going into Texas on the first turn. Texas is just such a great manufacturing state for FDR to live out of. It's just a good state in multiplayer in general. So even if I clash here, like I can just low spin, and that would give me, the ability to pivot to California and go high tech, oil. But I did get Texas successfully here. AKJ says, "Is this the only game you're streaming tonight?" I don't know. We'll see. We'll play it by ear. I wasn't planning on doing it anymore, but so Diego, the game I created, that one was in the public lobby. It was not a code, so I apologize, but sometimes it's just easier that way. Women's movement goes to RBG. Looks like Pelosi's setting herself up to get that high tech bonus. Okay, so I don't want to be too overspending here. I did choose oil instead of manufacturing, which in hindsight probably wasn't the best move. However, I'm sick and tired of losing these multiplayer matches because I don't get the oil bonus. So I wanted to try that first. Of course, we'll pivot to manufacturing. But Reagan continues to go for national groups. There's 55 for Nancy Pelosi over in California. And RBG goes ahead and gets her youth vote. Thankfully for us, there isn't anybody contesting the oil and gas, and we are going to be able to get that bonus. Plus, I'm going to go up in Illinois, and I'm also going to go up in North Carolina, Virginia, and in Maryland. So this is not something that I normally do, but because I have Louisiana, I can go for classic Old South, go for manufacturing with North Carolina and Illinois, and eventually work toward the ag bonus if I have Illinois and North Carolina, maybe even a Wisconsin later down the road. We'll see. Got a low spin here by RBG. We have Colorado. So we are going to get the oil and gas bonus. Okay, there was a clash in North Carolina. So maybe not ideal. Reagan going for swing states. I'm going to play it safe here and just go for Illinois and Indiana. And looking to see if I'm facing any other pressure. I'm not, but I'm going to... I think I'm going to... No, better not. I better just low spin here, just open up into Indiana. I don't want to overcommit my cash here. So I really wanted to overexpend, maybe go for the Old South by having Virginia and by having Maryland, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, especially when someone can get high tech super easily and then like Nancy Pelosi there and then swing over those states and take command. Like if I spin now, I'm gonna have to spin later. So let's just prioritize getting that manufacturing bonus. It would have worked out in the Old South this turn, but then, like I said, I'd have to do it later. So Wisconsin, Ohio, gonna put some pressure. I'm gonna leave Pennsylvania for now. I think that's not a required pathway, although now I'm facing pressure in New Mexico and in Colorado, so I'm gonna lock those. And I'm gonna go West Virginia just in case. Gives me another option for oil states. So Colorado is successfully closed. No clashes. So we also closed New Mexico. Swing states does go to Reagan. So now we have pressure in Illinois. I'm going to open up in Kentucky, open up in... See, Reagan could likely defend. Not facing pressure in Arizona. RBG's really going low here. Probably going to pressure in New York eventually. I think I'm going to really just open up into these manufacturing states. I might lose it for a turn. Not ideal at all, but I'm going to go one pip into Florida. I have the oil and gas money that I'm going to save. We have really three high spending players here, high saving players. So it's important that I don't overspend. We do clash in Florida. We lost nothing, so we did not lose manufacturing. So that's good. We are flirting with losing Illinois. Reagan went into New York. Okay, so interesting. So Pelosi and RBG. What's RBG going to do here? I'm going to go Kentucky. And then I'm going to go up in North Carolina. So I'm going to keep manufacturing if I get North Carolina. It's a good state for me to have. We had a low spin from Reagan. So Reagan lost swing. That was good. We took away that swing money. No way he spent all of it that turn. So that was good. He now is going to go up in Florida to get swing back. I probably should just close off Illinois here. I don't need it. I'm going to go into Arizona. I think I'm a state chase a little bit with Reagan. Make sure I spend all my manufacturing in case I lose it. Oh, I can't lose it. Never mind. The Indiana and Kentucky. So Pelosi really just playing her own game here. Reagan now pressuring California. And so there's the swing like we thought that Reagan's going to go get that back. Shoot, Illinois by 1 pip. That's frustrating. Okay. Defense in New York. And there's the defense matching in Pennsylvania. No bonuses turn hands except swing does go back to Reagan. So I think you could see a situation here where Reagan does lock Pennsylvania. I'm going to go for the steal in Wisconsin. No pressure in Texas allows me to save that oil and gas. Got a lock in Arizona. Let's see if there's money spent in Wisconsin. Big money spent in California. Iowa flips. If we're able to get the Wisconsin grab, that will set us up for oil and gas here. Or not agriculture, not oil and gas. I cannot think. So it doesn't take away his bonus, but it does flip-flop 20 EVs, 10 my way, 10 his way, away from him. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and zero spend here. I think I'm going to put a pip into California on the next turn, assuming nothing happens in Texas. So there's some spending. They're spending in Florida. So Reagan defending. And now here comes the California pip. Still no pressure in Oklahoma or in Louisiana. I would like to flip Ohio, Pennsylvania, or Illinois, but I don't know if it's going to be successful. So I'm just going to go up a couple on each, see if I can sneak it. I'm in pretty good shape, actually. I don't know what RBG is doing. RBG is just kind of floating out in this game. Big spin by Reagan. See what he does. He's going for California, and he's going to get it by a single pip. So we do flip away something. He lost a state. Let's see what he lost here. He defended Pennsylvania. We were able to flip Illinois. So we're going to lock Illinois here. He's going to have to lock California. And so if we go up in Florida and in Pennsylvania by 1, that should be decent for us. There's 500 spent. So he spent 200 in California, which means we're going to get Florida. Take away swing states, puts it back in our column and the ag bonus. Good turn for us. There's a ballot, and most likely it's going to be Reagan who's eliminated. So maybe I didn't have to lock in Florida, but I did. Very much soft leads for Nancy. That's all it really takes. I'm going to pressure these oil states. So I will lock those next turn. I'm going to go up in the ag. States of Idaho and might be having someone join here. See if I can figure it out. So let's see what Reagan does here. Reagan's going to flip Pennsylvania, but it doesn't flip any bonuses. Going to head to a ballot round where Reagan is eliminated. And now we can flip a few states here. Let's see what we want to do. So she'll probably lock California. Going to flip Alaska now. So I can. RBG is like nowhere. I should have got up in Ohio. Arizona might get locked. So Arizona zero spin. We're up to 201. It's the classic labor and environment, town and gun and high tech for Nancy Pelosi. Got all the other bonuses here. Okay. Just entering some of these town and gown states, AA states. 4 seconds left. Didn't quite get the Latino states, but I'm already 201. Big spin. We did clash. No, she clashed in New York. Interesting. So RBG is gone. And we're going to inherit a couple Old South states. We're going to inherit maybe not much else, honestly, because we did get Virginia and Michigan, actually. So, yeah, this is going to be pretty good. We're going to get the Old South. We're at 251 already. No way we don't lock Louisiana or Oklahoma here. And then she did lock all the oil states. So no worries there. But we have export in Washington against high tech. New Hampshire. So I could have gone up in more some of the Old South. Have a bunch of this oil and gas money, which is pretty useless right now. All those other states are locked. You can use it for defending. She probably won't defend California. She has the 271 though, so we did lock. Did block in Washington, which we'll go up in. We're going to block in Oklahoma again, block in Louisiana again. We do have the Old South like we were talking about, but Virginia is going to be an instant lock. Michigan's going to be instant lock. I need to be in more of those states here, so let's get in these Old South states. So I can flip Alabama, can flip Mississippi, go in Tennessee. I can go up and I can flip Nebraska. I can go in. I can flip Oregon. Go up in New Hampshire preemptively. Oh, Pennsylvania was a big one I missed. So she could flip Pennsylvania here, and that would be big. But I think that she does. We still have enough EVs elsewhere to counteract that move. So 895 spent. Some of it was in California. That's good. We did flip 22 net EVs. Let's see what we lost. We did not lose Pennsylvania. Going to lock it this turn. I'm going to lock Georgia. Going to lock Tennessee. Spend up in Tennessee. Going to lock it. Definitely going to lock, actually, Washington. Even if we clash, that's more turns where I get more bonus money. This ag bonus, Where can I use my ag bonus? I can just use it in Nebraska. And let's lock it there. We'll leave Kansas alone. So hopefully we are able to get the 16 EVs in Georgia. The rest maybe won't matter. There it is, 1 million. Georgia's ours. 40 EVs to us. And we did get a ballot, so we did get Washington as well. We're going to lock or go up in Kansas. We're going to go up in Montana, up in Nevada. Just about lock South Carolina. Let's go down in. Actually, let's just give up Montana. Let's lock South Carolina, and then go up in. She's got Latino. Let's go up in. I know she's got some other bonuses here too, but let's go here, and then let's go for mod if I can get it. Okay, so she did still New Hampshire last turn, so my swing was negated. Didn't use manufacturing, didn't use that oil money, but oh well, good game. Turn number 20 is over. Congratulations. Probably to me, but Nancy Pelosi played a good game. Let's see if we can get it above 300 EVs. Kansas is defended. Nevada is going to be defended. I bet you we do flip South Carolina, however. There it is. Tennessee flips. So cancels out South Carolina. But we do get Vermont. So good game, Nancy. 321 to 217. And that'll do it. Check out the comment section here. Aviation tutorials. Can we play one more round after this? Okay. So who did I play against? That was Karina. Man, Karina's getting good. Good game, Karina. All right, guys. It's 10:01. Shoot. I tell you what, I had better shut it down for tonight. I do apologize. I'm going to shut the stream off for tonight, but in 24 hours from right now, 10 o'clock Central, tomorrow night, I'll be streaming, and I will be going for at least 2 hours. And since I didn't give away, no one won the prize last week. It'll carry over, and so I'll have 2 prizes this week. I'll have 1 prize on Monday, 1 prize on Wednesday. We are going to be having the new Arnold Schwarzenegger candidate tomorrow. They're also coming out with a new Bernie candidate, and so be on the lookout for that. Follow me on Twitter if you have not done so, at Brendan270game. Hit me up in the 270 Lounge on Facebook if you have any questions. And if you ever want to join a stream like Kayleigh did tonight, I do not mind having some more people on the Zoom. I have looked into possibly getting a Discord. It is pretty, I don't know. That might be something we do in the future, but I'm not going to dive into that quite yet until I have more of a game plan. So Kelly Loeffler getting good. But till next time, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will stop sharing. And in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.